snake eyes because it's 2 at a time socks. Welcome back to our Vegas Nights sock knit along. Last time we cast on and we knit the cuff, and now we're ready to try the twisted lace pattern. So we have 2 socks, 1 needle, 1 ball of yarn. Remember, we're pulling from the outside for sock number 2 and pulling from the inside for sock number 1. So in this episode, we're going to work the twisted lace pattern. We don't have to worry about a heel. There's no heel. This is a tube sock. We'll work all the way down, and then I'll show you how to do the decreases for the toe. And then finish off, we'll talk about the Kitchener stitch and weave in our ends and blocking and all that fun stuff. But let's get going. Okay, one other thing I want to notice. I went ahead and started another pair of socks. These are so addictive. But I wanted to point out this other color that I started using because it is called Monte Carlo. So I think we're kind of on the same vibe here with the Vegas and the Monte Carlo and the Grand Canyon, all that fun stuff. But those are really easy names to remember for me, so I'm having a lot of fun here. Now, as from episode 1, you remember, I just recently got back from a trip to Vegas, so I'm a little, you know, how exciting it is. I had so much fun there. But one of the things, this pattern is so easy. Once you get started, it's a 2-round repeat. I literally walked the streets of Fremont, sat at a blackjack table, did all the fun things that you can do at Vegas while carrying my knitting. So I hope that gives you some encouragement on how this is really a beginner sock pattern for 2 at a time. So you might want to already have the concept of knitting a sock behind you when you go to start this out, but we're using a worsted weight yarn, we're using bigger needles, and it should be pretty easy. But if you do have questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments and we'll help you out. So now on to the good stuff. The pattern that makes this, let's go over this. So we finished our cuff, and now we're ready to start making these twists. And these are little holes here. It's kind of hard to see when it's on top of each other, but these are lace holes and a twist. And I was really inspired. I was walking under the awning of the Golden Nugget on Fremont Street, and I looked up, and they had these lights and these twists, and really inspired me with this sock pattern to kind of emulate what I was seeing. But to get that, we're doing a little bit of a lace technique, and it's so easy. Let's show you how this is done. Round 1. Make sure that we have our working yarn up. This one's coming from the inside of the ball. Yarn control, yarn control. 2 at a time, using 1 ball of yarn. Really make sure that you keep your yarn not tangled up. Otherwise, it's not so fun. Okay, so knit 2. You guys know how to knit. There's knit 1, knit 2, and then yarn over. That's where you just bring your yarn up and over, and then knit 2, 1, 2. Now that yarn over that we did, that's an increase. You're adding a stitch to it. Now it's time to decrease that out so we keep the same amount of stitches going, and we are going to do that by knitting 2 together. So that is the 6-stitch repeat. You just keep repeating that all the way around. So I'll show you that again. It's knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over, knit 2, and then knit 2 together. Okay, so knit 2, yarn over, knit 2, knit 2 together. Now the way that it reads in the pattern, we kind of broke this out for sock 1, sock 2, and then back to sock 1. So don't get confused. It's still technically all the same round, but we broke out what you do for each portion of the sock. So this is sock 1, the front side, then sock 2, and then sock 1, back side. Okay. I'm going to continue doing this all the way around. Oops, that was 2. Yarn over, knit 2, knit 2 together. And again, I want to go over one more time the transition between sock 1 and sock 2. This is sock 1. I want to push this aside, make sure I don't grab that yarn. Now I'm using sock 2 yarn, which is coming from the outside of the ball. I want this up so it doesn't get tangled. And I start again, same as before. We're going to knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over, knit 2, and then knit 2 together. So a great way to check yourself, go back and make sure you have 6 stitches. Okay, so I did that right. So knit 2, yarn over, knit 2, and then knit 2 together. 1, 2, yarn over, 1, 2, knit 2 together. 1, 2, yarn over, 1, 2. Once you get a few rounds into this, you'll start to see the pattern develop, and then you'll know right away what stitch is coming next, because you'll be able to look down below and read your knitting and see where you're at and what you've done and what comes next. And by read your knitting, it's being able to identify the stitch below the line that you're, or the row that you're on now, is kind of just a knitting term that we call knowing where you're at. Okay, I finished first side sock 2, flip. Now I'm on the second side of sock 2. I would just go ahead and finish that all the way around. And then when we get to the beginning of round 2, I'll show you how we do the second round of this 2 round repeat. Okay, I've got my last knit 2 together. So that's the end. And remember in episode 1, I said the tail is beginning of round, so that helps me keep track of where I'm at now. So now, as we work this twisted lace pattern, keep in mind your tail is now going to move on you because you're manipulating these stitches. So you can go ahead and snap in a locking stitch marker here to help keep you on track. But keep in mind that every few rounds, maybe every like 5 or 6 rounds, move it up, because it will also start to rotate with this pattern, because this is a twisted pattern, so it's rotating. I found that out the hard way. I got a little off track, and then going back to figure out where it messed up, it was not pretty. But yeah, so when you're working your cuff, it's a great way to know where your beginning of the round is. So yeah, just put it in here. And then, once you get a little bit of chunk, if you see it start to twist, just move it back a few stitches so you can keep up, because it does twist around. So now we are on round 2 of our pattern. Okay, so I knit 2, yarn over. Now this is our yarn over from the round before, and there's no base stitch there. Well, now we're going to go ahead and secure this, and we are going to knit through the back loop. And when you knit through the back loop, it twists that stitch just a little bit, and brings it on in, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is the stitch that I just knit. This is the stitch I knit into. See how over here is one leg of that stitch and over there is the other leg, so they've crisscrossed? That just kind of secures the bottom of that stitch by knitting through the back loop. And then I'm going to knit 1, and then I need to do a decrease because I did the yarn over for an increase to keep 6 stitches still there. Then I knit 2 together. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So again, let me show you that again. Knit 2, yarn over. Now this is the yarn over from before, and I want to knit through the back loop on that one. So what I'm doing is I'm sliding my needle. Instead of normally you go like this, what I'm doing is I'm going through this back leg over here, like that, and knit. And then knit 1, and then I got to decrease because I increased, knit 2 together. So knit 2. Okay, there we go, knit 2. Yeah, if you ever get lost, you want to look down and read your knitting. Right here, I can see there are 2 stitches that went into one. So that was my knit 2 together. And then 1, 2, now I'm at the yarn over. Plus another indicator is this is the one I need to knit through the back loop, and it doesn't have, it's the yarn over from the round before, and it doesn't have that base stitch. So, and the reason why I'm giving you these helpful hints is because I relied a lot on these helpful hints as I walked around Vegas and was knitting, because I didn't carry a pattern with me. I didn't carry a row counter with me. I just walked along and knit, and then if something came up and I just closed it up, threw it in my purse, and then when I came back I was like, okay, where am I at? And it was really easy to find those identifiers to say, oh, that's where I'm at, okay. You know, and I do have Knit Companion on my phone, and I didn't even think to use that, but honestly, when I was in Vegas, you don't even hear your phone ring, it's too loud. So I didn't even carry my phone. It just hung out in the hotel room for most of the time. Plus I was on vacation. Okay, so back to where we were at. I just knit through the back loop, then I knit 1. Now I need to knit 2 together. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to continue on with round 1 and round 2 until you're about 14 inches. Don't worry about knitting the heel because this is a tube sock. We're not going to do a heel. Once you get about 14 inches on there, then we're going to go ahead and do some decreases for the toe. And I will show you how to do that. So we're ready for decreases. Here we go. We're going to knit 1. And of course, these instructions will be in your pattern so you can follow along. Knit 1, now we're going to knit 2 together, and you've been doing that, so you know what that's like. You slide your needle through 2 stitches, knit those 2 together. Now we're going to knit till there's 3 stitches remaining on the other side of sock 1 front side, so on the one side of sock 1. And then you'll repeat this for each side of this sock on this round. So I'll just show you this real quick. We are going to do what is called an SSK. And what an SSK is slip, slip, knit. I'm almost there, and I'll show you how that's worked. Okay, so I've gone ahead and knit across. I've got 3 stitches remaining. Now I'm going to do the SSK. So that's slip, slip, and then I'm going to slide this needle back. And my back needle's already through the back loop. If not, you slide them back, and then you put your needle through the back loop. But in that transition of a move, it's already where it needs to be. And then you wrap your yarn around, and you knit through those 2 stitches, and then knit 1. And that's what's causing the decrease on each side of your toe. So we have 2 different types of decreases that we're doing, one on each side of the foot of the toe. On here, we're doing a knit 2 together. That's causing your slant to kind of go this way, and then on the other side I'm doing an SSK, and that goes this way, so on the end of your toe you're going this way. Now continue that for each of your socks all the way around, and then we do what's called a resting round, and that's where you just knit every stitch, then you do a decrease round. Now I have a wider foot and I like a wider toe. I'm also a toe wiggler, but I go through a lot of toes, but I wiggle my big toe like all the time, and I like a wider toe. If you like a narrower toe, you can go ahead and continue that process of a decrease round and a knit round until your toe is the width that you like. It's completely up to you on that. Then when you're finished with that, you're going to graft your 2 sides together. And we have a great stitch support video. Grafting is also called the Kitchener stitch. And what it does is you use your yarn from your ball, from your tail, and a tapestry needle, and you wind through the stitches, mimicking a regular knit stitch. And those 2 pieces come together, and you can't even tell where they were separated. So that's right there, and that's called a Kitchener stitch, and we'll put the link up above for you so you can click on that if you need a refresher on how to finish that up. And then weave in your ends and block. Now for these, I did a wet block, and what that means is I soak them in water, and I've heard 15 to 30 minutes. I always set a timer and do it for 30 minutes. It's just habit for me. but do what works best for you. I put in a bit of wool wash while it soaked for that 30 minutes, and then I rolled them up in a towel. So I got my towel out, laid them on the towel, rolled it up, wicked out all the water I could. The most important part that I do want to go over when you're blocking these, because there's no heel, I didn't use a sock blocker. I laid them flat to dry, but I also went through and pushed them out because I really wanted those lace stitches, that's where your yarn overs are, to open up to give it that twist and that design. And then about halfway through, like I did this in the evening, so that the next morning when I got up, I flipped them over and I did the same thing on the other side to give the other side a chance to dry. This is worsted weight yarn. It is 100% superwash wool, so it may take a little time to dry. But yeah, as I knit these here today, showing you guys this tutorial, I had made a comment that I was having flashbacks and memories of when I was in Vegas. I think that's what makes these a great vacation sock, because like every stitch you make, you're like adding a memory into your work. And then when I look at these socks, I think of Vegas. When I was just re-knitting them, I was thinking about Vegas. And I never really thought I would have fun in Vegas, but I had an absolute blast just watching people. I did sit at the blackjack table while my husband played and I knit. They didn't give me any problems or say anything to me. And then I was like sitting I spent more time knitting than I did gambling, yay me. But then on top of all of that, I spent more time people watching. I just found it so interesting and I can't wait to go back again. But I just want to say thank you for joining me. Give these a try. Let us know how you work with them, if you like them, what you could change about them. Leave us a comment. And don't forget to get your kit at onebighappy.com. We have the printed pattern and all the yarn that you'll need. Hit subscribe, hit the notify button. You guys know what to do. Thank you so much. Happy knitting.